All right, it's the last edition of Weather for Weather Geeks in the month of July. Good Friday evening, everyone. It's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm with you once again this evening. We've got a lot to talk about, a recap of July, a preview of August, a preview of the weekend, and some good news about next week. We'll talk about the hurricane as well. Let's start out reviewing July's numbers, and what a toasty month it has been. Only two cooler than average high temperatures this month, on the 11th and the 13th. Every other day has been at the average or above the average. That means lots and lots of 80s and 90s this month, including a 94 back on the 9th day of the month. This will go into the record books as a July that was 4.7 degrees warmer than average and the 7th warmest July on record. Now, the precipitation amounts are interesting. At the airports, it's going to go into the record books as a wetter than average July with 5.76 inches worth of rain. That's almost an inch and a half above average. But look at all the dry days we had in July, and your eye is certainly drawn to the 10th, when we had 2.5 inches worth of rain in a 24-hour period. That really skews the numbers for the month. If it wasn't for that heavy rain day, the numbers would look a lot different at the airport. Overall, the highest totals for the month, of course, were in Trumbull and parts of Mahoning counties, and it gets a lot drier once you're down towards Hanoverton, Lisbon, over towards East Palestine, under 2 inches in some of these green areas in Columbiana County. Kind of the Route 30 corridor was our driest spot, but amounts were still below average for the most part over in Mercer and Lawrence counties in the month of July. What about August? Here's a look at the Climate Prediction Center outlooks for August. I'm going to share them with you because I think they're reasonable. I don't have any big disagreements. As far as precipitation goes in August, looks like a dry month in the Intermountain West, but wetter than average conditions favored along the East Coast, largely thanks to Isaias, the hurricane that's going to brush the coast at the start of the month. But around here, there's not much of a signal either way as far as precipitation goes in the month of August. Perhaps a bigger story, I think, will be the temperatures. It's going to be a hot August out west. And for us, it may be another warmer than average month. That wouldn't be a surprise at all. Almost every month these days is warmer than average. But the degree to which it's warmer than average should be quite a bit less significant than July. I doubt we have a top 10 warmest August like we had in July. And overall, I think utility bills should probably be a little bit lower in the month of August as compared to July. When we talk about climatology and the thermal peaks, if you will, of course, at the beginning of summer, that's when the sun is at its strongest. The most incoming solar radiation occurs around the solstice, around the 21st of June. Air temperatures typically do peak in July. That's when our averages are at their highest, both average highs and average lows. And then water temperatures, the lag continues, and those peak in August. Typically, we see our warmest temperatures on area lakes and rivers in the month of August as we wrap up meteorological summer. We tend to get kind of into the doldrums as we get into August. When we look at the average wind speeds, they bottom out in August. Of course, July and August and September all are featuring a fair lack of wind compared to some other months, but climatologically speaking, the slowest wind speeds on average occur in the month of August. All right, final evening of July is going to be a quiet one here locally. Showers and storms off to our south and west. This is our next weather maker right here with a warm front up here. It's going to start tracking our way as we go into tonight and tomorrow. In the meantime, big national weather story, of course, is the hurricane. Hurricane warnings are up for the Bahamas, east coast of Florida, and tropical storm watches extend up into the Jacksonville area. Isaias is a Category 1 hurricane with gusts up to 90, still moving at a good speed, northwest at 15, and the pressure as of the 5 p.m. advisory, 991 millibars. All right, what's going to happen with Isaias? Still remains a pretty tricky forecast for the east coast of Florida in particular. This could be a real close shave for the east coast. A 15 or 20 mile difference in the track could mean a big difference in the sensible weather that's experienced in places such as Fort Lauderdale, Miami, the Space Coast, heading up towards Jacksonville as well. Right now, the center of the cone is right along the coast, but that's the center of the cone. West side of the cone is very plausible. This may very well make a landfall in Florida, and that would weaken it some as it moves north. Or it could not make landfall and not even come all that close to the coast and be far enough offshore that the weather conditions would not be all that bad along the east coast of Florida. This is still pretty tricky business, And this is going to make its closest approach to Florida, or perhaps make landfall in Florida sometime on Saturday and into Saturday night. This will be a close shave for the beaches of the Carolinas, Myrtle included, up towards the Outer Banks of North Carolina, Virginia Beach included. Residents and vacationers down there definitely need to pay attention to what happens with the hurricane. All right, back here at home, not expecting any direct impacts from Isaias. For us, it's a warm front that's going to track our way tonight with increasing clouds. And I do think that showers will become increasingly likely as we get into the midday and afternoon on Saturday. Threat for showers and storms will continue into the evening and parts of the overnight as well. Showers will continue into parts of Sunday. Now, when we look at rainfall totals, it's going to be a pretty variable situation. Right now, our models advertise an average of between a half an inch and an inch. That's just an average, though. These could be pretty efficient rain producers, so it's going to be possible that in some localized situations we get quite a bit more than those averages I just showed you. And while the ground is dry and these showers and storms won't be real slow movers, they'll be efficient rain producers. So in a localized sense and an isolated sense, yeah, we can't rule out some localized flash flooding problems over the weekend, especially tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. Maybe the highest risk in the yellow area to our south and west, but even around here, it's something that can't be ruled out. And the severe weather risk, large hail, damaging winds, isolated tornadoes, while it is going to be higher to our south, down towards I-70, down towards Wheeling, down towards Athens, Parkersburg, Marietta, Charleston, Morgantown, places like that, we can't rule out around here a couple of gustier thunderstorms, and it'll be kind of interesting to watch areas near that warm front tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. Some wind shear looks pretty impressive once you get off to our south, especially once you're down towards Wheeling, maybe Steubenville, and down towards Morgantown. The tornado risk definitely is a little higher down there near that warm front. A change in the wind direction with height through the atmosphere means that we can't rule out some isolated tornadoes, especially well off to our south. Risk of a shower and a thunderstorm in our forecast for Sunday. It's not a washout, but that risk will be there. And with this front still off toward north and west on Monday, an afternoon shower or a storm will remain a possibility. It'll be much more humid this weekend than it was today, but it won't be that hot, thanks to clouds for the most part. Upper 70s to around 80 should do it. The dew points stay elevated into Monday and Tuesday, but beyond that, boy, do I like the looks of the forecast for the second half of next week. As Isaias moves off the eastern seaboard, high pressure will build into the eastern U.S., and that'll pay us dividends. I think it's going to be really nice outside. Dew points will be lower, great sleeping weather, and dry weather for the most part, second half of next week. So if we can get through Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday through Friday of next week, looking fantastic at this point. All right, packed weather for Weather Geeks this evening. Lots to talk about. We'll keep you covered over the weekend with all you need to know about the threat for showers, storms, heavy rain, etc., etc. So make sure you're following all of us individually on social media and the Storm Tracker 21 account as well. And, of course, 21 News at 11 tonight, WFMJ Weekend Today tomorrow morning, and 21 News at 6 and 11 both days this weekend. We will have the very latest on all you need to know weather-wise. In the meantime, have a great Friday night and a great weekend.